Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros. Castrating the marks.
All right, let's go to Meltzer and Alvarez. This was sent in by Bear Boulder and Troy Manth. And Alvarez is talking about how the overrun for Dynamite, which is, for anybody that doesn't know, that's when they go beyond the time they're supposed to go off the air. So let's say they go off the air at 10:05.
Right.
They're supposed to go off at 10. The overrun is 10 to 10:05. So Alvarez is talking about the overrun losing viewers.
Or after they had a long overrun. And if you look at the quarters again, and this happens all the time, the overrun totally died.
Well, in it was the lowest. It only went down a little bit.
It was the least watched segment on the show.
Yeah, but the last segment's always, they always decline.
The last segment is always the lowest rated segment on the show? Is that what he was about to say? What? That's like saying, Jeff, the 2-minute warning is the lowest rated segment in NFL. The 2-minute warning, bro. That's when everybody turns off the game.
I remember when you and Ed were there, that part was exploded. It was by far the highest rated of the show.
Oh, God, not even close, bro. That's why they give you an overrun, Jeff. That's why the network gives you the overrun, because you're going to pop a number.
No, Vince, this is supposed to be the lowest. That's just the way it is. It's the lowest. The end of the show, nobody wants to see the end of the show.
They had a long overrun. And if you look at the quarters again, and this happens all the time, the overrun totally died.
Well, it was the lowest. It only went down a little bit.
It was the least watched segment on the show.
Yeah, but the last segment's always, they always decline.
I love the way he caught himself, bro. He caught himself, man. He always said, bro, his brains, his mouth doesn't. He caught himself there, or else he would have been hammered.
The overrun should never decline.
Well, sometimes
it never declines on NXT.
No, you're wrong. It declines on NXT all the time.
Does Meltzer have the numbers to prove up that it declines all the time?
No, but Alvarez did look at the numbers.
It never declines on NXT.
No, you're wrong. It declines on NXT all the time.
It didn't. I just looked at the numbers.
I studied this stuff. It goes up on AEW.
I studied this stuff. By the way, Alvarez said I looked at the numbers. No, it doesn't. A fan replied to this clip on somebody's Twitter with the actual numbers, and Alvarez is right. It doesn't go down on NXT. I think it went down once this year or something like that, or once in the last 20 weeks, something like that.
Frequently, it goes down on AEW frequently. It goes up on NXT frequently. It goes down on NXT frequently. It's based on basically.
He's talking out his ass, bro. This is the first 3 months Vince Russo was there, the numbers went down. He's blatantly talking out of his ass, bro. No facts, no numbers, no proof, nothing, bro.
That what he's doing is he's taking what has happened and now saying, because that's what has happened, that's what's supposed to happen.
Right.
So if AEW always goes down in the overrun, well, that's like saying to somebody just struck out in the bottom of the ninth to lose the game. I'm like, Vince, he struck out, and you're like,
supposed to happen.
He always strikes out. He's supposed to strike out. That's the logic that Dave is using here.
Frequently goes down on NXT frequently. It's based on basically it's based on a couple of things. Number one,
bro, he's having such a hard time pulling something out of his ass. I mean, he's stuttering and bumbling, and he can't even come up with something here.
Yeah, and I think Alvarez is just going to let him hang himself. Alvarez already said his piece. No, it doesn't. I looked at the thing. It's not supposed to be the lowest rated part of the show.
Basically, it's based on a couple of things. Number one, what's on competition television, 10 o'clock, and number two, the segment.
What's on at 10 o'clock? So by this logic, you're watching Dynamite from 8 to 10. It goes over. You're not DVRing whatever comes on at 10. Well, the rest of Dynamite, I'm going to go watch something else at 10 o'clock. That's what he's saying. You would watch the whole 2 hours and then change the channel at the end because something else is starting at the same time.
Itself. I mean, I've seen plenty of overruns in AEW that go up. Plenty of NXT overruns go down.
The overrun did 564.
But
that's not a little drop.
What's the 18 to 49?
293.
And what was the segment before?
304.
So it dropped a little bit down.
It's still a lot of people didn't see it.
But that's normal. That's a normal last quarter. That's not unusual. I mean, it's like, yeah, it went down.
That's a normal last quarter. If your normal last quarter is losing viewers, you have a problem with your television show structure, because that's not what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, and you know what's going to happen, bro? They're not going to get an overrun anymore. That's what's going to happen, bro. WBD is not going to give them an overrun anymore.
NXT went up.
So it went up this week. But the point is like, it can go up, it can go down, and it basically depends on more, again, you're going against the convention, so that's like pretty major competition, but it also depends on, it just depends on what you got. And
he's sounding like a total moron now. Yeah. I mean, he's just sounding like a total imbecile right now.
Like, people are choosing, I'm going to watch the presidential convention, or am I going to watch AEW? Like that's a real conversation that people are having, that they're choosing between.
And not only that, bro, like, it's 10 o'clock on the nose. I got to turn over to the convention because it's 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter who's speaking or who's on. It's 10 o'clock, bro. So we got to go to the convention.
Yeah, like wrestling fans are not watching that shit. Come on, man, especially during AEW.
Swerve was something that they thought was great. It wasn't gonna go down. So there's your answer. There's plenty of times it goes up.
I can't find last week's, but I think it was the exact same thing happened last week.
No, plenty of times. I studied this. It's like
I look at them every week.
I know it goes. They're both.
How do you study numbers? You look at numbers. You look at them, bro. There's nothing to study. You look at them. There's no
he looks
studying
at them
involved.
He looks at them. He sees what happens. He remembers what happens. But now that's what's supposed to happen because that's what happened. That's his MO. It always is the pattern.
Well, he just made himself sound so stupid.
Down. It depends on the week.
Depends on the week.
We had Hangman doing a.
Yeah, depends on the week. Yeah.
This was sent in by Mark Canales and Charles Redmond. This is a clip from Barstool Sports.
Why are you wearing a Max hat?
This guy's thinking the same freaking thing we are. Like this loony. Like, why is he wearing a freaking Max
And bro,
hat?
the problem is that he's not just wearing a Max hat. He's wearing a man's hat and he's got a little kid's head. So it looks like the hat is like literally 3 sizes too big for him. That's the problem, bro.
Why are you wearing a Max hat?
I was given this hat, and it's a lovely hat, and I think it's a wonderful streaming service. And this hat was gifted to me in Paris. Is part of a great backpack of stuff that I had in my hotel room when I got there for the Olympics. And I spent great time there with Mr. David Zasloff and, all the great people at Warner Brothers Discovery. They were very kind to us.
This I've never seen sucking up like this,
bro. But that's the thing. There is still no deal. There is still no. We keep coming on here every week and saying there still is no deal, bro. There's still no deal.
He's busting his balls. He knows that guy's not stupid,
bro. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about this now. Is that what we're seeing here, bro? A complete rib on the part of WBD.
No, well, I don't know, but I'm saying the guy that's asking the question.
Right, but I think it's WBD too, bro. I think they're playing the rib.
I don't know.
I honestly do. I think they're playing the rib because there's no deal. There's no signed deal.